What is going on, guys? Josh here, and today we are back. I made a mistake. In the last video, I went and basically reviewed and reacted to the Madden 21 deep dive gameplay trailer that EA put out, but I made the rookie mistake of not going over the blog that they put out. I'm not sure if they put this blog out at the same time that they put out the trailer, because I feel like normally, like I've done in all my other videos when I've reacted to things like that, the vlog or the blog comes out the same time as the trailer. It probably did it and I just missed it, so this is my mistake. I apologize, but we're going over it today. They put out these notes, these Granada notes, to go along with the deep dive, and there's a lot of stuff in here that you may not have seen. So this is some things from the Madden trailer that you just might not have seen, because I missed it. We all make mistakes. Maybe you saw it. Either way, I'm gonna go over it right now. Go ahead and zoom this in so you guys can read it if you guys want to read it as well, but I'm going to be reading it and kind of going over my thoughts. So today we'll be focused on core gameplay enhancements driven primarily by player feedback gathered throughout the Madden 20 season. You'll read about some new improved changed gameplay features coming to EA Sports Madden NFL 21. This is actually, I don't know how I missed it, because this is actually such a big deal. They're literally telling us how the game is going to be, and they specifically say, we gathered feedback throughout the Madden 20 season. So, if you ever complain about Madden 20, I barely play Madden 20, so this is kind of weird for me to be like, this is. I only saw it from the outside, and I saw people complaining about the run, and complaining about the run some more. That's what I saw. So we'll see. First thing they start off with, run defense. Boom. So I don't know how they wouldn't start out with this first, because a guy won a Madden championship only running the ball. He literally didn't call a pass play. Whatever. Simply put, stopping the running game in Madden 20 was too difficult for most. So they just come out and say it. They basically say, y'all mother couldn't stop the run. And a lot of it, it's like, if everyone is doing it, EA, there is something that is overpowered within your game that you made, you got to make a change to it. So they're coming out and saying, hey, it's kind of funny that they're saying y'all couldn't stop the run for most. For Madden 21, we aim for a more balanced run-pass ratio, so we've made some improvements to our run fits and defensive gap systems with a strong emphasis on the force defender, who is the defender responsible for setting the edge versus the run. Here are some specific improvements that we made towards that goal. So basically, for guys who didn't play Madden 20 as much like I did, there was a gun there was a play called stretch. Usually run from the I form. There's a stretch run that you hit the edge and then you're gone. Almost every time. I could go and play Madden 20. Like I said, I played Madden 20 in like a year. I could go run that play every single play, which people did, and probably win the game. I didn't. You don't need to pass it. The run was so good. So we'll get some orange juice real quick. Alright, force defenders aligned on the edge of scrimmage of the snap will use wider angles at the start of the play to show more anticipation and better pursuit prediction to set the edge versus outside running plays. I thought that's what contain was for, but whatever. Force defenders will show more anticipation in the pursuit angles at the start of the play when facing quick hitting outside running plays such as jet sweep, touch pass, so they'll get a position to set the edge. Okay. Hammer and fill players, who are the defenders in the run fit responsible for the open gaps inside the force player, will take a wider initial pursuit angles versus outside running plays that will help them get over the top of the outside formation quicker and prevent them from getting mixed up inside. Okay, makes sense. So basically, the inside rushers are we going to be rushing towards the outside of the outside shoulder or to the sideline of the offensive lineman, and we'll take wider pursuit angles versus outside running plays. I'm not sure how that's going to work unless they know the play beforehand, but interesting. I guess the AI will be able to react that this is an outside run play, and then we'll do as such. We shall see. Force defenders will have a wider formation alignments and many base defensive packages such as 3-4, and more plays within those base formations will have the force player aligned on the line of scrimmage instead of off the ball. Interesting. So I'm expecting to see a lot of linebackers basically on the edge of the formation, which happens sometimes if you're able to like base a line, show blitz. So that will happen. They'll bring the linebackers down to the line of scrimmage. Basically, that's good. They're saying that's going to be happening by default in a lot more formations. Edge and force defenders will have a wider gap integrity versus heavy wing tight end sets. So this is what I mean by this I form or this jumbo formations. If people are coming out running the ball and you know someone's running the ball to the outside most of the game, that's a problem if you can't stop it because your formation's so messed up because they're all lining up inside and they never change that. So that's good to hear. That's good to see. Again, I don't have the game and haven't played the game, but it's good to see that they're specifically saying there are going to be improvements to specifically stop this BS because it was BS. I like that. New and improved blocking interactions with defenders, disturbing running lanes by pushing blockers further into the backfield during engagement versus all run types. I don't really know what that means. Defenders will have a better anticipation of the ball carrier's movement by taking smarter angles. All right, awesome. So basically they're saying the AI, summing that up, is basically saying that the AI is going to be smarter against the run, especially to the run to the outside. Great. Let me get some orange juice. I think we're just gonna do orange juice every section of this. Tackling improvements. In addition to the upgrades to our run fit system, we know how important tackling is to run defense as well. We didn't just add the new breakdown and pylon tackles, we also made some core improvements to existing tackling system to make tackling more accessible and a stronger part of countering the run game. Interesting. Defenders will now be much more aware when they are engaged in blocks near a ball carrier, and that will trigger tackle attempts for them to engage blocks inside the trenches and in open field versus impact blocks. So basically, if I am a defensive linebacker and I'm getting blocked and I see the ball carrier running past me, I should at least try to reach my arm out to do something. That usually doesn't happen with Madden, like ever at all, unless you're like super close. If you're super close, you usually just suction onto them, which is weird. But they're saying that they're going to at least make an effort, which is what I would like to see rather than just getting held blocked all the signals every time. Now, I'm not saying that you should never be able to run the ball, but making the effort and saying that it is within the game is better. Hit sticks and dive tackles have been tuned to make them more accessible and functional, all of which come together with our new breakdown tackling for a more intuitive defensive experience. Hit sticks, the past few years, they have toned it down because they were so popular, to where it was kind of more skill based, which I kind of like and also kind of didn't like it because if you hit stick, like even if you like barely late, you whiffed. Dive tackles used to be amazing. Now they're kind of too as well from the last few months I played and the little bit I have played. So we'll see how that goes. Location based tackles. This can be a big deal. For anyone who's ever played football, you know how important where you tackle someone is. Let's read this. One of the few features that has the Madden dev team really excited is location-based tackling. Okay, if they're saying that language is important, if they're saying that the dev team is really excited, this is like a big deal, and you'll probably see it on every play. These are tackles where you'll see the running back reach out the ball for the pylon at the last second to get that critical touchdown, or when the tackling defender will struggle and strain to keep the ball carrier from reaching the first down sticks on a huge fourth down. Here's a quick breakdown of how these work. That's actually dope, because it's saying that the AI is recognizing the situation and then is behaving in a way to realize the situation and to potentially get something or stop something. Great. These tackling interactions made our players more aware of the fear location and react accordingly. Oh, okay. I was thinking that they were saying, I'm either going to hit you high or hit you low, depending on where you're going, your speed, your direction. But they're saying just basically where you are on the field is where they're going to try to tackle you. So like, if it's the end of the game, I'm going to try to tackle you within the field and not let you get out of bounds. That type of thing. These tackling interactions make our players more aware of their field location and react accordingly, including the pylon, goal line, sideline, first down marker. Awesome. While there's not a direct button input on the sticks for these tackles, they will be driven by the player ratings and the superstar abilities. In addition to the abilities, the defender's tackle and awareness ratings compared to the ball carrier's vision and awareness ratings will drive the outcomes of these interactions dynamically. I haven't been thinking about this, but what I've seen or what I've noticed is that basically from all the trailers they've been putting out is that the AI is smarter this year. The AI is literally just smarter this year. So awareness rating is going to be very important for every one of your players. Like if there's an ability or a chemistry to raise your person's awareness, I think I'm gonna go with that, like honestly. All right, next up, let me give him some orange juice. This is a long vlog, not really that long. Zone drop coach adjustment. We're introducing a set of coach adjustments that will allow you as a defensive player to customize your depth of your zones for underneath the zone defenders. These coaching adjustments will give you the ability to change the drop depths of flat, hook curl, and flat zones in increments of 5 yards up to a max of 30 yards from the line of scrimmage. When using these adjustments, keep in mind that all match zone dodgers will be disabled in all zone coverages plays while using adjustments including deep zone players. When facing a no hurdle offense, you can turn off these coaching adjustments by using the play reset. This is going to be great if you're able to master it, because it's basically saying if I put a middle linebacker in a yellow zone, which is a hook zone, I can tell that middle linebacker where to play in the hook zone. So I can tell him to be 15 yards back, or play 15 yards, play at 10 yards, play at 5 yards. If I'm getting dragged to death, I'm gonna put my my light blue zone to play the flats. Like it's not a flat zone and a mid zone or a purple zone. It's basically on the lines. So elite Madden players are gonna be able to take care. Elite Madden players are gonna be able to take advantage of this. A lot of people might be going no huddle this year, just depending on how it is. Could be passing improvements. With a more balanced run game, because of more reliance on the air attack to ensure the players will have the tools they need to run more balanced offenses in 21. We made some significant changes to throwing the football. Throwing out of sacks. Thank you, EA. Finally. All QBs will have the ability to throw the ball. That's great. All QBs will have the ability to throw the ball while being tackled. There you go. I don't even really need to read the rest of this thing. Basically, the rest of it says it'll be directly targeted by physics. So if you're getting sacked and you literally cannot throw the ball physically, like then you won't be able to. The earlier in the throwing animation, the QB is hit in combination with the QB strength rating, so that's another important rating that's going to be important this year. The QB strength rating, could they throw out of a tackle, the more likely he will be the fumble. So strong QBs, keep that in mind this year. Deep passes under pressure. New to Madden 21 are under pressure throwing animations, which allow the QB to contextually speed up the throwing motions when feeling pressured on deep passes, throws 40 yards or more from the spot of the pass to the landing spot. These animations are dictated by threat-to-threat prediction. I'm really hoping that with all this AI, that this game doesn't become so animation based that things are kind of set in stone, because you kind of have to know, like, what this is saying is that if I'm at the 20 and I'm throwing to the other, if I'm throwing to the 40 on the opposite field, the game's gonna have to know that. This is interesting. These animations are dictated by threat-to-threat prediction, meaning that at the time the pass has been initiated, if the QB thinks he will get hit by an oncoming defender before the release of the pass, he'll use an under pressure animation, and the QB's throw under pressure rating will modify both power and the accuracy of the pass. Another important rating this year: throw under pressure. I kind of like this though. I like that specific ratings are important for specific situations. I like that. QB branch outs. QBs can now throw or can quickly branch out of the drop back to the ball at any time. As soon as QB has, this is going to be overpowered for people in 99 speed. As soon as the QB has received the snap, if receiver button input is given, the QB will immediately branch out to the existing territory of the ball. Okay, so this is still for throwing. This includes a branch out of play action fake. QBs will also have control to branch out to drop back and scramble for the stick. Okay, interesting. Accuracy / power tuning with a variety of improvements in passing. We also did some tuning to improve under pressure and cross-body pack accuracy to bring more balance to both, making the interactive paradox contextually appropriate for the situation. We've added a new max distance passing power penalty, which will activate when they target a receiver who is deeper than the QB's max passing distance. The max passing distance for each QB is divided by throw power. Again, I like that. This penalty will also decrease the strength of the pass when throwing deep passes on the run and more severe penalties for cross-body throws. So you won't see just like stupid throws that are literally unrealistic. If this was Madden Ultimate Team, we're gonna basically have to have a max card to do anything super crazy, which I like. Enhanced, okay. Parity for handoff animations. All handoff animations have been turned off so that respective handoffs are the same speed going in either direction. That is dope. Pass interference and illegal contact. You guys know if you basically play Madden, there are no flags in Ultimate Team for sure. For most of Ultimate Team. We've added support for a more robust management of user-controlled pass interference, and also for the first time, the illegal contact penalty. The goal with these is preventing users from intentionally instructing receivers from getting to their routes or the catch ball spot. While trying to overlook incidental and unintentional contact, these penalties will be used in both competitive and simulation game styles and will be called primarily on user-controlled defenders. For franchise players, these penalties can be adjusted in the penalties settings menu. This is telling me that contains, let me read this actually before I say anything. One of the more popular online strategies in Madden 21 was to contain blitz. Players told us this felt unbalanced because unblocked certain contained players were very effective pass rushers. This also became very quick to react and scrambling QBs. So again, the theme of balance, we've made changes to contain behavior in Madden 21. And when utilizing pass rush schemes that free up the contained player from being blocked via the overload of one side, that player will now rush QB at a slower speed than if he were not in the contained assignment. As long as the QB is inside the pocket and not using a scramble movement, the contained player will be moving at a speed slow enough to read the QB with the intent to keep him in the pocket, will not break into a full speed rush unless the QB starts to scramble. This just sounds like, hey, we don't know how to fix it, so we're just going to make your player slower. Which I don't like because I don't know how I feel about that. We're just gonna make your guy slower. If my QB's in the pocket and you have a guy that's coming free, he's slower now. This change will bring balance by giving the defense the ability to quickly react to scramble can be with a unblocked contained player while giving a little more power in the pass rush. Catching responsiveness. Like many of our other features and improvements, Madden 21 has a strong focus player on control and agency catching. No different made features our catching system to offer more stick work towards making plays. Players can now dictate the direction they want their catch to take them as they secure the catch via the left stick input. For example, when holding up on the left stick and using the possession catch, you'll be selecting possession catch that will fall in the same direction as your stick input. This is dope. Ensuring the receiver won't go to the ground short of the sticks. Ensuring this. Okay, I see what they're trying to say. When throwing underneath the route, as the responsiveness allows the receiver to quickly turn upfield as using the rack. You run after the catch. One obvious case is to notice the improvement when the receiver is nearing the sideline. User will have the control to keep him in bounds as he turns upfield rather than running out of bounds. So you saw a lot of this with just throwing drags. If you throw a drag, your receiver will just continue to run out of bounds. I mean, there's literally nothing you could do about it. So cool. I like that. This sounds great. Sounds like we have more control. Player personnel packaging. For those who like to get creative with information on offense, we've added a new way to use packages information while using audibles. The pre-play audible system now considers the actual personnel on the field when changing your personnel in the play call menu via packages or formation subs. Your pre-play audibles will now match your personnel package on the field. If you're using 12 personnel with 1 running back and 2 tight ends information like gun empty flex, you will be able to audible to any other formation in play with that also uses 12 personnel. I see. For now, this feature only applies to offense, but as it continues to evolve, we're looking at opportunities to expand upon it. Dope. Balance for repeated, oh shit, this is big. Balance for repeated audibles / pay flips and pre-play. Another aspect of bringing more balance to the run pass ratio Madden 21 is the authentic solution for spamming audibles and play flips by the offense pre-snap until an advantageous alignment for running play is found. Basically, people would flip to play, audible, flip to play, and then your defense would go out of whack because it's already reacting basically on the flip, because some people will have like auto match on or auto flip on in the defense, and that would basically kind of glitch out people's defenses. I'm glad that they're addressing this. The offense will now have the risk of the offensive line completing a false penalty after the use of multiple audibles or play flips, and the chance of the penalty will significantly increase with each additional audible thereafter. This penalty has been put in place to simulate the confusion of an offensive player would have if QB changed to play 3 to 6 times while sitting. Y'all are gonna make so many different audibles. Usually, I also hope that based on the offensive lineman's awareness, this is important. So like if you have a really smart offensive line, you should be able to audible like 20 times. But I like that. Player fatigue for out of position ball carriers. Madden 20 year was a gadget play for many, but players told us that gadget plays were too frequently called or relied as a primary source of consistent offense. In response, you now have to strategically manage the workload of ball carriers who are not primarily ball carriers, who are not primarily a running back or risk of penalties via fatigue or overuse. After a player who is not a running back by trade, such as a QB, wide receiver, or tight end, has carried the ball as the primary ball carrier on multiple consecutive plays, that player will start to quickly deplete his stamina, especially on tackles and hit sticks. This risk applies to non-running backs in the Wildcat Power, Jet Sweep, Touch Pass, the QB Blast, and they'll get tired. You'll notice them become less effective on the field regardless of the role thereafter. These players will need to be subbed out of the game if overused. If not subbed out, their play will continue to degrade as they get more and more tired. This system will be used. This is smart. I like this. With this change, it's a significant reduction to fumbles by scrambling QBs on all game styles except for all Madden competitive. However, as players start to get more fatigued, the likelihood of fumbling will naturally increase. They're saying, but you can't spam QB power anymore or QB wrap. Like, I mean, they were saying like even if you have like Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, Patrick Mahomes, if you're not a running back, you're gonna fatigue a lot more. Like, they get tired running and passing. They just do. Kicking game tuning. We received feedback from players that some aspects of the kicking game were in need of some improvement. So here's a quick list of changes there. The kick meter on competitive game style has been tuned to a more skill-based, meaning it will be more difficult to get accurate kicks for competitive play, and missing the accuracy window will be slightly more punitive. Interesting. So it's that's gonna be tough. It's really hard to see. It's always really hard. I mean, they usually tune the kicking every year, but it's really hard to see how hard it is to kick until you actually play. So we don't know. Kick power and wind impact has been tuned on simulation game style so that kickers and punters don't always launch unrealistic deep kicks, while the wind impact in the game will be less significant. We tune ball physics to bring more. Actually, that's a big deal. Let me go back on that. While the wind impact on the kicking game will be less significant. Thank you, because we're not actually in the game. We don't know how much 10 miles per hour wind, where that's gonna go. Like, we can't determine that. I always thought that was funny. Like, how would we know that? We tune ball physics to bring them more skid to the ball on kicks bouncing on the turf to make the coffin corner kickoff exploits known as community by the scum kick to be much more difficult to execute. I like that. So far, this is just sounding like a huge W. This is a huge W. This is the last section, ability improvements. In Madden 20, so this is basically about the X factors and ability section. Wide receiver route ability balancing. Wide receivers had a number of abilities granting them catching bonuses on specific route types. These abilities, while strong, were difficult to use because they require to have detailed knowledge of a team's playbook and very specific hot routes that might not always be available. In Madden 21, we have reworked to use abilities to grant bonuses when the receiver catches the ball in specific areas of the field regardless of the route they are on. This allows them to accomplish the initial goal of creating receivers that excel and making plays on specific route types while making them much easier to utilize. So if you have an offense that revolves around throwing to the sideline, you basically want to get receivers that have that specific sideline ability. That's what I'm getting at. So cool. Coverage defender ability balancing. On the other side of the ball, we've had the opposite issue where with coverage defenders abilities, Madden 21 abilities like man up, zoned out, and universal coverage were essentially one-stop shops. It was too easy to pick up one of these abilities on defender and just set it and forget it. Ultimately, we didn't like how easy it was to make a defensive powerhouse with very little ability investment. As a solution to this, we would split these abilities in multiple versions that grant their bonuses across specific areas of the field, mirroring the new wide receiver abilities. So again, basically it looks like the same thing, but basically for a defender and a specific part of the field. Now coverage defenders will need to specialize in defending an area of the field rather than being able to cover the whole gridiron. Additionally, universal coverage has been converted into an X factor ability, so the idea of a powerhouse play the whole field can still assist. You just have to earn it via the X factor abilities. Interesting. Cool. Pass lead abilities. Let's see what's the important thing from here. In Madden 21, we have removed the increased leading distance of these abilities. Instead, boost the ball's velocity when using precision passing mechanic on the left stick in combination with a bullet pass. And yeah. Oh, this benefit greatly increases the ability for defenders to make a play on the ball when making the correct read and should prove to be a powerful perk for pocket passers. Dope. So if you know where you're throwing the ball and you can pass lead well, it's going to work well. All right. And that's it. That was 30 minutes of me reading the notes and kind of reacting to it and what I expect from it. There's going to be another Gridiron Notes. What did you know about Face of the Franchise tomorrow? I'm actually going on vacation on the 1st. And then I'm going on vacation again for another 10 days in July, in like mid-July. So I'm going to try to keep cranking out these videos and get them out. For some reason, I was thinking that Madden 21 came out in August earlier today, but it actually doesn't come out until August 28th. I'm trying to put out a video every single week. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that related to Madden 21. But as we get more news, I'll put up more videos. I don't really want to do Madden 20 stuff because Madden 21 is kind of dead. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. I'm signing out, and peace.